I.
Victor Tango Sierra Foxtrot Alpha Mumbai Control. How do you read?
Read your file, sir. Victor Tango Sierra Foxtrot Alpha.
Okay, so as a good courtesy, if somebody asks us how do we read, we should also ask them how do you read, so that
Uh,
both ways we can check. So if I want to check if you are joining with two devices, because I have your call sign, I have two accounts
okay.
that have joined with your call sign.
I have joined from phone as well, from laptop.
Okay, so both are yours only, right?
Yeah.
I hope it's just you using both the things. It's because of your microphone not working, I guess.
Yes, sir.
Okay. If possible, try to text me from both the accounts, okay? So that I get verification that it's just you. And just mention your name in the chat box. Students, very good morning, everyone. In the initial first 5 minutes, let's simulate a blind and a real-time experience where you actually cannot see the person you're speaking with, but of course you can hear the person. So it's just like a radio show or it's just like a radio call where you are sitting in the cockpit. So let's all imagine ourselves to be sitting on the left side, on the left seat of the cockpit of your favorite aircraft. It could be if you want to go to Akasa, you can plan for Boeing. If you want to go to, of course, Indigo or Go, whoever has Airbus, you can plan you are in Airbus. Maybe if Air India, then you can plan for other aircrafts, bigger aircrafts, or maybe you can also feel that you are in a turboprop aircraft, which is ATR. Whatever aircraft you like, wherever you want to work, imagine yourselves there. Feel yourself wearing that bright white shirt, right? Something that's going to be a uniform. You're in the cockpit, you're making calls. When will you start making calls? When you have to start making requests. So that's something that's going to be your day-to-day job. The first day when you're going to get into the cockpit, of course, you would be trained, but still, even after the training, when you'll go as an observer, you'll be excited to be seated in the co-pilot seat. The day you sit in the co-pilot seat, you will be on your own. And your PIC might not be very helpful, but he doesn't have to be also. So that would be your ultimate day of test where you would finally feel that you're doing something on your own because in a way 60 to 80% work will be done by yourself as a co-pilot. All the talking with the co-pilot. Only major calls like takeoff and all will be done by you as a PIC. So all that you're doing now in RT, all the hard work, all the difficult calls, call structure, as and how you grow in the field, your workload is going to be reduced as you become a senior. But you have to go through all this, you have to go through the co-pilot seat and do all the hard work to earn yourself a seat in the PIC. The good thing about RT exams is that we in the exam pretend that you are in the PIC seat. Why am I sharing this right now? Because this assumption and this feeling really helps you take the calls seriously and more appropriately with respect to the examination. So all my students, we all are coming from a different age group, right? Some of you all are very young, some of you all are young, some of you all are also young, but a little older than the others. But one thing is common that we almost all of you all have not had that experience. Some of you all who have already flown and have a CPL, you do have some good experience, right? But still, there are variations in the way you have been talking to our RT operators, that is ATCs, or you will be talking when you start your flying, and how it has to be in the exam. Students, the variations are slight. The important thing is what I'm simulating right now with my video off is your ability to focus your ability to focus on what is said to you. Because in exams, exactly that is what you have to do. So all that you're going to learn and all that you have already learned is taking you there where an experienced pilot in command should be. So instead of getting scared of how to handle a big bird like a heavy aircraft, you feel the excitement that you have been on a, maybe you could think of it as an industrial visit where you are simulating to become a pilot for a day or so, but without the risk of damaging the aircraft or lives. If you think about RT that way, and if you're really passionate about aviation, trust me, that approach will definitely help you learn the most complicated aspects of RT in a very, very, very short time. What is the benefit of that? The benefit is that your chances of clearing in your first attempts or upcoming attempts are increased twofold, fourfold, sixfold, eightfold, and then tenfold. It's like not even square, not even cube. Well, the multiplication factor is really very good. So one ritual that we have to follow every day is when we join, we'll simulate a blind experience, a real life simulation, and all of you all could make your request, assuming you all are pilots and I am the ATC. Mostly the course that you should practice right now could be readability checks or pre-flight checks as and when you will learn your checks, or you could just make random requests. Up to you. The sky is even not the limit for you all when it comes to imagination and creative thinking in RT. Now, I'm not sure in aviation anybody has ever taught you anything about using imagination and creativity. But navigation, the most important subject of all, is nothing but a science and an art. And when they say it's an art, my students, what does it really mean? It means that you need some sort of creative thinking. What is creative thinking? Now, you don't have to paint sitting in the cockpit, okay? You don't have to write sitting in the cockpit. Creative thinking means you know what navigation is all about, you know all the individual elements. There might come situations where you might have to make a decision that you have not really learned. That is creative thinking. So, how do you combine all the dots, all the different smaller elements to make a good decision about navigation? RT somewhere is indirectly related to this navigation. But here we don't focus much on navigation, we only focus much on conversation. So your job becomes much more easier. So please, everyone, start making today's notes, write the headlines. You know how to make the notes, right, everyone? Left side, you'll write the date. Initial few days, I'm going to treat you all not really like um uh, not really like nursery students. Nursery is the lowest level of school here where I am in Mumbai. I'm not sure about other states. But yeah, when it comes to RT, we begin from scratch. No matter where you come from, no matter if you're finished Echo 22 or Golf 22. Initial few days, first 2, 3, 4 lectures are all about building and strengthening the fundamentals. So students, please do your readability checks. That will tell me if you all are settled down and whether you all can hear me on a scale of 5. One by one, please respect the mutual interference should not happen. So respect that fact. Whoever comes first should do it first. Let's do it quickly. And students who have not renamed yourselves on the Zoom app, please rename yourself. And then I will present myself to you all and we'll learn a lot today in a short time.
Mumbai ground, Victor Tango Alpha Yankee uniform. Read U5. How do you read?
Victor Tango, Alpha Yankee uniform, Mumbai control, standby.
Standing by. Mumbai Control, Victor Tango, Alpha Yankee Uniform.
Very good reply. Very good reply. Sometimes you will see ATC replying like the way I replied. A lot of breaking and a lot of thinking and a lot of dead air. It's okay if the ATC does it. You as a pilot generally will not do it. Sometimes a pilot can also talk like that. But in exams, you cannot talk like that. Okay. So when we are mentally not prepared, sometimes it happens that we are thinking and giving the call. When we are thinking and giving the call, what happens is we tend to have something called dead air. So one of the important soft skills or the most compulsory things like we were discussing yesterday is to avoid dead air. So you can say this is our thumb rule number 2. Yesterday we learned a thumb rule. Go through your notes. Tell me which was the rule, thumb rule number 1 we had learned. Please recollect it. Write it in the chat box. One more thing I want you all to understand. Okay. Generally, I prefer using a small part or whatever part is needed, the first part of our lectures for revisions of what we had done yesterday. So we'll do all that. Quickly do your readability checks, everyone. Ayush is done. Please, others, go ahead with it. My call is all stations, Mumbai Control. How do you read?
Mumbai Control, Victor Tango Mike Alpha November. Radio 5. How do we read?
Victor Tango Mike Alpha November. Mumbai Control. Radio 5. How do you read?
Radio 5. Victor Tango Mike Alpha November.
Manan, very happy to hear from you. Very happy to hear this call. You sound very smooth, very good, very nice. I was really worried as to what's happening. But yes, but Manan and everyone else, even if you're doing a small check with me right now, a small readability check that is, even then you have to write. How will I know whether you're writing or not? With your rate of speech. Because we all cannot write that fast, right? So very good morning once again. Only 2 students have done the readability check. Please do it fast, Please do it fast, everyone.
Mumbai ground, Victor Tango Alpha Sierra Hotel on 121 decimal liner, stand 2, readability check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. How do you read?
Victor Tango Alpha Sierra Hotel, Mumbai Control, read you 5. How do you read?
Radio 5, strength 5, Victor Tango Alpha Sierra Hotel.
Very good, Ashwini. You really sound like a working pilot right now. I like that. Very good. Make sure you also write calls when you're giving it. That we have to practice sooner or later. So everyone, make sure you all are doing that as well. Let's be quick now let's be quick, students. Go ahead. Who's next? I'm not going to say next again and again.
Mumbai Control, Victor Tango, Tango Kilo Sierra, Radio 5. How do you read?
Victor Tango, Tango Kilo Sierra, Radio 5. Confirm if you have renamed yourself with the call sign. Mumbai Control.
I don't know how to reply now.
It's okay. Tushar, just rename yourself on the app. Your
Okay,
call
sir.
sign.
Okay, sir, I'll do that.
Yeah, good.
Mumbai Control, Victor Tango Uniform Sierra Delta, stand 2 on 121 decimal liner, Readability check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. How do you read?
Victor Tango, Uniform Sierra Delta, Mumbai Control. Read you 5. How do you read?
Read you 5, strength 5, Victor Tango Uniform Sierra Delta.
Very good. Usaid, were you writing the call or had you already written it?
No, sir, I have not written it.
Okay. The next time you speak, try to write and speak. And you all know how to log it, right, students? Left
sir.
and right. So always try and do that. Okay, good. I'm gonna only give couple of more students to a chance to do the readability check. So please do it fast, students.
Mumbai ground.
Good morning,
Mumbai
Mumbai
ground.
ground.
Yeah, it's a group flight, huh? 3 pilots are flying together. Huh? It's fine, it's fine. It's okay. It's fine. Next time. Okay. Where is this guy? Okay, so let's see. We have Mukul. How do you read Mukul?
Sir, read you 5.
Won't you ask me how do I read you? Come on. Mutual. It is a mutual ethic to ask each other initially whenever we build a connection or a communication channel on a frequency. If I'm asking you, you should answer and you should also, as a courtesy, ask me back. Always. So, how do you read me, Mukul?
Mumbai ground, read you 5. How do you read?
Station calling Mumbai ground. Mumbai control. Read you 5. How do you read?
Read you 5.
So what I did here right now, he called Mumbai ground, but I am Mumbai control. So I said him that the station who's calling Mumbai ground, I said, so who was the station who's calling Mumbai ground? It was Mukul only. I said, this is Mumbai control. And then how do you read? So you will learn all this. This is what you have to learn. You know, these little things are what you have to learn, students. Good, Mukul. Victor Tango, Delta, Alpha, Bravo. Mumbai control. How do you read?
Read you 5, Mumbai control. How do you read?
Are you Mumbai control?
Actually, this is my first call, so I wasn't sure who to call.
I know. I'm just asking. Are you Mumbai control?
No.
No. So why did I ask that? Because of the call structure. You said 3 things, but the structure also matters. So eventually I'm going to teach you about the structure also, students, right? Many of you all would already know it. So good. So Victor Tango, Delta, Alpha, Bravo, Mumbai control. How do you read? You should start the call with the other person's call sign always. And then you can say your call sign and give the reply, or you can just start with your reply and then end with your call sign. You'll learn this. No problem. But you are sounding really good, everyone. Victor Tango Sierra Sierra Mike. Delhi Tower. How do you read? Victor Tango Sierra Sierra Mike. Delhi Tower.
Delhi Tower, Victor Tango Sierra Sierra Mike. Read you 5. How do you read?
Victor Tango Sierra Sierra Mike. Mumbai correction. Delhi Tower. Read you 5. Strength 5.
Read you 5. Strength 5. Victor Tango Sierra Sierra Mike.
Yes. So see, students, although, yeah, some of you all might not know what the call structure is, and of course, you will know it maybe sooner or later, but at least you can observe the calls that I'm taking, and you can observe the structure. You can write those calls, and then you can try and follow that structure when you're practicing. But no pressure. Take your time. Okay? No pressure. Take your sweet time. I'm going to be very easy with you all initially in the first phase. So it's okay. Anyone else wants to do a check? Go ahead. And then let's start with the session. As in Mukul's session. Mukul, I'm going to pull a lot of your leg every now and then. Please don't mind. And others also don't feel bad, okay? About the jokes. You know how it is, right? Anyone else? Readability check, any other check, any other call, practice?
Mumbai ground, Victor Tango, Zulu November Victor, readability check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. How do you read?
Victor Tango, Zulu November Victor. Mumbai control. Mumbai ground unavailable. Read you 5. How do you read?
Read you 5, strength 5, Victor Tango, Zulu November Victor.
Very good call with respect to readability check, Zanvi. But Zanvi, what had we learned yesterday about readback? Can you try and recollect? Can anyone tell me what could have been done in this call? No right and wrong. Okay, think about it. Something to do about readback.
Sir, read back. Sir, Mumbai control not available.
Yes. We can add any information or instruction given to us by the ATC. We need to repeat it, the first thing, and then we can reply or acknowledge, and then we can end with our call sign. Zanvi, can you redo that call by giving me the readback also? Zanvi might not remember it if you have not written it. If you don't remember, it's okay. We can keep practicing. If you remember, then go ahead and give it again.
Mumbai ground not available. Mumbai tower, read you 5, strength 5. Victor Tango, Zulu November Victor.
Very good, very good. See, now you're putting yourself in the spot and you're doing something and you're almost right. So this is the confidence that I seek. And Zanvi, I'm very happy to see that you're developing it. You must have already had it, but in the session, if you have it in the first 2 lectures itself, I think you're learning in a really very good way. So keep it up. But the only mistake you made was I said Mumbai control and you thought it's Mumbai tower. But with the confidence that you had and you went ahead with it, we are going to capitalize on it. This is the main reason why we log the calls so that we are not confused about what was happening. Was it tower? Was it ground? Was it control? Even I got confused whether she called ground or tower, or control. But I played it in a way that nobody realized that I didn't hear her properly. This is creative thinking. This is what is going to help you come out of the worst possible situation in your RT exam. I'll teach you a lot of things. Remember, everything that I say, you have to listen it carefully, okay? And for some of you all, it could be a challenge thinking, sir, it's very slow, or I already know it. But please stick with it. It's only going to help you, okay? And please don't think that I'm going to teach everyone in the same way who's not even going to give Kolkata. Initially, you will see, and then you will see. It's like that. Good calls, everyone. We have Gulshan joining in. Gulshan, I got a glimpse of you. Looking nice early morning. Usaid, Gulshan, guys, come on. Anyone who can keep the videos on, without any online privacy issues, please do so. I don't have to remind it again and again. We have Chaitanya. Chaitanya, very nice to see you. Attend. Very nice to see you, get involved into something that you're not prepared for, because I don't really know you were ready to learn RT. I just wanted you to explore, and I think it's good that you're doing it. So keep it up. Safa, nice to see you. The same with you, Safa. I think that we're talking about something else, but I think it's very good for you to have an open mind and take the advice to attend the lecture. Students, the RT should be the first paper you clear when you get into aviation. Understand, all other subjects later, RT and navigation should go hand in hand first. If you need an advice on how to start my career, start with Nav and RT together. Okay, very good. We have Usaid. Yes, I can see Usaid. Nukul, very nice to see you. Poster boy. Ayush.
Good morning,
again,
sir.
poster boys. I hope you all are feeling well. Nukul and Ayush, very, very nice to see you all. Nukul, please send me a reminder today to give you all an action plan for navigation. Especially the ones whose syllabus is over, we need to prepare you for the exams now. So please remind me if I forget. I'm making you in charge of that, okay? So I want you to take the lead for some time and assist me with the same. All right? Can you do that for
Affirm,
me,
sir.
Nukul?
Affirm, sir.
Yeah. If
Affirm,
you
sir.
find something difficult, let me know and I'll show you how to do it, okay? Good. So we'll be having everyone. We'll be having Manan, Nandini, and then we'll be having Likhit. I'm not sure about Shraddha, but we'll be having all those people from our, small, I think, what was the name of that batch? I forgot. But yeah, Z class, I think. Yeah, or Zulu, I guess.
Zulu 22.
Yeah, Manan and Nukul. So Manan, I'll also tell you, but first I need to see you live and then I'll tell you. And together, we're gonna have a lot of fun. All of us, 3 to 4 to 5 of us, who all are pending to give the exams. So please remind me, Nukul, okay? And then we have Tanishq joining in. Tanishq, warm welcome. Once again, congratulations. Very happy to see you, observe and learn. Sordip, welcome. Ishan, very nice to see you in picture. Ashwini, very good call again. Tushar is also trying very good. Pooja, it's okay. Microphone, not a big issue. Don't be sorry. Manan is here. Very happy to see you, Manan. Manan, make sure you are back to our live classes as and when I'm doing. Suchita, very happy to see you again. I hope you're feeling healthy. Zanvi is here taking good calls. Abhishek is here. And Abhishek, thanks for sharing all that you have shared yesterday. It was fun. Took me back to my college days, of course. In my college days, we were building this, We were building an actual gyrocopter. It was fun. So yeah, I can relate with what you're doing. And yes, that's it. So starting with Mukul. Mukul, I need you to give me, with a closed book, an answer to a question. And the question is, what are the last 3 categories of messages in sequence? Last 3 categories of messages in sequence. Think about it. One instruction before you all start giving answers, and this instruction is important for part 2 Viva. Before giving an answer, think about the question, wait for 5 seconds, let the answers come to you, structure the answer correctly in your mind, and then give the answer. It's just like how detectives think. But you have to practice this. So Mukul, practice that 5-second thing. Don't jump to give an answer and then give an answer. Go ahead, Mukul.
Right, sir. So the last 3 categories of the messages are the flight safety messages, the MET messages, or we can say the meteorological messages. And the last one was flight regulatory messages.
Regularity messages.
Yeah,
regularity messages.
Right.
And end the answer with your call sign. Okay,
With-
make this habit, students. Yeah. Sounds good to me, but I'm not sure. I need to verify, but I don't have my notes to verify. So who can help me verify the answer? Abhishek, Zanvi, Safa. Mithika is not here, right? I'll check with Mithika. Please, someone confirm if Mukul's answer is correct.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Yes, sir.
One student, whoever starts first should go ahead first. Proper answer and then end with your call sign.
Affirm, sir, the answers are correct. The last 3 are safety, then the meteorological one, and the last is normal regulatory calls. Victor Tango, Sierra Foxtrot Alpha.
Okay, so Safa's answer sounds correct, but it is not exactly a readback of Mukul's answer, so I still need a verification. Sounds correct, but I still need complete verification. I need everything as a proper readback. So who can give me a double check right now? Who can verify Mukul's and Safa's answer and complete Safa's response by giving me exact verbatim sentences? Because a few things, like I said yesterday, a few things have to be verbatim. So Chaitanya, maybe you could do it. Maybe Ishan, you could do it. Sordip, you could do it. Ashwini could do it. Ayush could do it. Come on. Abhishek could do it. Come on, come on, come
Yes,
on.
sir. So the last 3 messages are flight safety messages, fifth on meteorological messages, and sixth on flight regularity messages. Victor Tango Alpha Sierra Hotel.
Okay. Everyone sounds right, but why was I asking this again and again? There is a reason. The reason being, a lot of your answers, whether they are correct or not, will depend upon you using keywords. Okay. So let me give this, and please start focusing on this. Use very important technique, okay? Keywords in your Viva answers as much as you can. Okay. One rule about RT, although you can have creative thinking, one rule is that there are certain things which you cannot speak otherwise, like call signs. What are call signs? Victor Tango Mike Alpha November. What is a call sign?
Which represents your aircraft, particular your aircraft.
Represents an aircraft, a particular aircraft. All right. Ayush, what do you think is a call sign? Ayush, are you there?
It's represent the specific name of the aircraft given to that aircraft by the ICAO.
A name given to an aircraft by ICAO. Logically, it's correct, but it's still not a perfect answer. Manan, what is a call sign?
Sir, identity.
Yeah, you can say call sign is identity, but who gave me this answer? It definitely wasn't Manan. So please end your answers with your call sign. Was it Usaid?
The Victor Tango informed Sierra Delta.
Yeah, it was US,
Yes, sir.
United States dollars. Huh? By the way, anyone wants to use this call sign, feel free. I like this also, euros. You know, it's more richer than USD dollars. That was a joke. I don't know if you'll get it. Actually, you said call sign is USD, right? So United States dollars, right? No, you didn't get it, joke. So call sign is your identity. You have to write your call signs in the code specified by either ICAO or by the ITA. ITA is not going to be a big deal for you in your RT exams. But you have to understand that there is something called ICAO. There is something called ITA. ITA talks about transport in particular, while ICAO talks about civil aviation, and not just any civil aviation, but international civil aviation. So the full form for ICAO or ICAO, however you want to call it, generally we call it ICAO, ICAO, but the full form is International Civil Aviation Organization. Okay. Can anyone tell me what is the full form for ITA if you all know it?
International Air Transport Association, Victor Tango Delta Alpha Bravo.
Very good. See, I can see Abhishek is in the cockpit right now because he's giving me a call like that. Very good. But remember, ultimately, you all have to write and give your call. So whenever you want, you can practice it. You can practice in your Viva answers also, you know. Eventually, you have to practice reading and writing. Good. International Air Transport Association. Is that correct? Abhishek, is that correct?
Affirm, sir. Victor Tango Delta Alpha Bravo.
Ideally, some students say it's affirm, but we don't say it's affirm, it's affirm. Okay, affirm, try to say affirm, it's fine. Affirm means yes, and negative means no. So
No.
This begins your understanding or collection of standard words and phrases. Okay. These standard words and phrases are the most important thing for you to learn. The first thing. Similar to this, I think there are around 5 to 10 important things that are the most important things that you should learn as your first thing. So don't feel like, sir, you keep saying this is important, that is important. It's like your hands are important, your head is important, your legs, your eyes. So all these one parts are all important parts that make up the whole functioning body. It is just like that. Everything is a small part. So you first learn to crawl, and then you learn to walk, and then you learn to fly. So this is how we learn. So from now on, anyone who has to say yes to me will use the word affirm. If you don't remember saying affirm, you say yes, and then you remember, oh, I had to say affirm. Then you will use the standard word called correction. Correction means I have made a small error in this transmission, and the correct version is. So there is a meaning. Just like we had a meaning for read back, there was a sentence, a verbatim. We had discussed 3 lines. Students, it's your chance to go through your notes. I'll tell you why I'm making you do it. Every day when you join a session, you are requested to be ready 15 minutes before the session, right? Why? So that you can revise. So always try to sit at the desk or wherever you are studying, 8:45, if it's a 9 a.m. class, request for the ID password and just keep revising. If we tend to do that, then when we join, of course, the first 5 minutes, someone or the other would be late. And you know, I don't like starting without even one student not being in the class, right? But what to do if one student is coming at 9:50, another is coming at 9:30? I cannot wait everyone. I cannot make everyone wait, right? So if you revise by 9 o'clock or maybe 9:05, and then if we do quick readability checks, then it is possible for everyone to practice calls by 9:15. And we can discuss a few questions from yesterday's lecture. And I can do a quick revision with you from yesterday's lecture so that the first 15 to 20 minutes, we all are thorough with what we had learned till yesterday so that, you know, your base is strong and what you're learning today is also going to be strong. In RT, attending lectures is just one aspect. The next important aspect is timely revision. My suggestion is, if after the session, if you cannot revise, at least revise the next day before the class. Or revise what you have learned today before going to bed. If you are someone who cannot sleep early, then reading before going to bed is the best strategy to fall asleep, because you might not want to read and you'll fall asleep. So yeah, correction means I have made a mistake. This is a generic version. I'll give you the exact meaning in the list. And correct version is. So let's say Mukul asks me, sir, confirm if my flight level is flight level 290. I'll say yes, but I had to say affirm. So I'll say yes, correction, affirm, flight level 290, Mumbai control. So that's how you can use correction. One more phrase that I would want you to use starting now, whenever you are speaking to me or giving answers, would be say again. What does it mean? If I say something, and if you have not heard it, maybe because of interference, maybe because you're distracted, maybe because the clarity is not good, maybe because I am not speaking properly, whatever the reason is. If you want me to say again something that you have missed or maybe a part of it, in normal language, we use pardon, or we say, excuse me, we say sorry, we say, can you say that again? We say, can you please repeat? Or generally we tend to say sorry. Generally, when I'm speaking to someone and I don't hear properly, I say, sorry, sorry. The tone tells the other person that we cannot hear. And it is very difficult to repeat the same thing again and again, right? But in aviation, if that happens, you are free to request for the other person to say again. In exams, in your part one, if you're panicking, if you're under pressure, if you're missing something that the ATC is saying, and you're having problems in the first 5 minutes, use a few phrases that I'm going to say and ask the ATC to repeat again, and then you continue with the call. So say again is something that can help you come out of a bad situation where you miss what the ATC has said. You have not written it because of the pace, and now you don't know what to reply. So you will be stuck in that question, and you'll waste important, valuable time, and the ATC might not tell you to go to the next question also. So you'll be stuck, and that is the worst thing that can happen to you in an RT exam. So there are a few techniques that I'll give you to come out of it. One of which is you can just take the call signs, Mumbai Control, enter 1, 2, 3. Then you'll say read you 1. Although you were able to hear them properly, you will pretend that you couldn't hear them properly. Now I won't say it's cheating, but this is a strategy to show them that you are actually mature enough to do the right thing, which is if I miss something, I'll use the RT protocol and make sure that the same thing is said to me again. What is the RT protocol? Let's say Mumbai Control is calling. Let's say it's Likit. Likit, by the way, good morning and welcome to the class. Don't worry, you've not missed much. So I'll say Victor Tango Yankee Yankee Zulu, Mumbai Control, leave flight level 150 for flight level 2980. Report reaching. Likit might not have heard it. Likit was busy doing something else. Likit is like, oh my God, what do? I forgot the flight levels. I forgot the call sign. Who called me? I don't remember. So in that case, Likit will say this. Station calling Victor Tango Yankee Yankee Zulu. Whoever station is calling me, I'm calling that station right now. This is the meaning of that. Station calling Victor Tango Yankee Yankee Zulu. Victor Tango Yankee Yankee Zulu. It means this is me. Read you 1. So I say that I just cannot hear you. I just know someone is trying to call me. Say again all. Or I can just say again. When I do so, I write it. The examiner in the exam thinks like, okay, the student knows. The student just could not hear me. The examiner will think maybe some connection difficulty with the headsets. And the examiner will say the same thing again without knowing that you messed up in the call. So the examiner will say, I say again. So they will start with, I say again. So after say again, there is another phrase, I say again. And the meaning of these phrases are asked every now and then in your question number 5 of your part 1. And I've seen many students give me wrong answers. They give me say again answer for I say again, and I say again answer for say again. They lose valuable 4 marks. So that should not happen with you. So remember this strategy to come out of a bad situation. If you miss hearing what the examiner says, just take that call sign if you remember. If you remember the call sign, then the call would go like this. Mumbai Control, Victor Tango Yankee Yankee Zulu, experiencing QRM, read you 1, say again. Simple. But make sure when you're using this strategy, in the ATC section, you can write something. You cannot leave it blank. So he said something, you just write no response. Or you write read you 1. So that when anyone is checking the log, they know that the readability was 1. You could not hear anything. Once that call is over, you take this call. This is called coming out of the bad situation. One of the techniques. I'll give you 5 to 7 techniques. Use these techniques. Just learning the syllabus is not going to help you clear in your first attempt or upcoming attempt. Know this. You have to use these techniques. All right. These will help you. So the full form of say again, please write it, everyone. I'm trying to give it verbatim. And whenever you're talking to me, please use it as much as you can. Okay. Say again means Repeat all or a specified part of your last transmission. So someone could say again, it means I have to say the whole thing. Or if Likhit just missed the flight levels. So he could say, Mumbai Control, Victor Tango Yankee Yankee Zulu, read you 3, say again, flight levels. So ATC will be like Victor Tango Yankee Yankee Zulu, Mumbai Control, I say again, leave flight level 150 for flight level 290. Then your reply would be, leaving flight level 150 for flight level 290, will report reaching Victor Tango Yankee Yankee Zulu. Students, right now, most important thing that I want you all to do is observe and understand. Okay? All that I'm saying. Even if you don't remember it much, it's fine. My task is to ensure, or my goal is to ensure that you're understanding what I'm speaking. So students, one by one, everyone, just let me know if you're understanding or not and end with your call sign. Please use that common sense of not interfering with each other. Quickly do it, everyone. Are we understanding or not? And then end with your call sign.
Affirm, sir. Victor Tango Sierra Bravo Bravo.
Affirm Victor Tango Alpha Yankee Uniform.
Affirm, sir. Victor Tango Tango Kilo Sierra.
Affirm,
Tango
sir.
Mike
Victor
Alpha
Tango
November.
Sierra Foxtrot Alpha.
Affirm Victor Tango Yankee Yankee Zulu.
Affirm Victor Tango Romeo Juliet Papa.
From Victor Tango Mike Romeo Tango.
Affirm Victor Tango Zulu November Victor.
Affirm Victor Tango Delta Alpha Bravo.
Affirm Victor Tango Inform Sierra Delta.
Affirm Victor Tango November Kilo Charlie.
I don't think everyone has responded. Who's left?
Affirm Victor Tango Alpha Sierra Hotel.
Affirm Victor Tango Sierra Sierra Mike.
Affirm Victor Tango Charlie Hotel Alpha.
Is everyone done? I'm sensing a couple of stations are still yet to do it.
Affirm Victor Tango Baba Kilo Mike.
Okay. Okay. Victor Tango, Mike Romeo Tango. Kindly acknowledge Mumbai Control.
Mumbai Control, say again.
Station calling Mumbai Control. Say again, call sign.
Victor Tango Mike Romeo Tango.
Victor Tango, Mike Romeo Tango, Mumbai Control. Kindly acknowledge. Students, this is a very important phrase. Okay. Acknowledge. Everybody, please make a note of these phrases. Okay. It is very important. If you're thinking, sir is still talking. No, we have started with our lecture. Okay. We have started with our lecture. It's always going to be this smooth. That's why I'm saying you have to focus and follow on everything that I'm saying. Okay. Don't just think carried away that, oh, sir is just chilling, discussing. Let's just sit idle and listen to him and do daydreaming. Never do that. Okay. I don't really have to always show you this is the topic and this is how we're going to start. Sometimes the learning will be fluidic. So make sure you're focused in the lecture, everyone. So when I say acknowledge, the meaning is this. Mukul, focus. So you will know what I'm really asking and then you will be able to give me a good reply. Everybody else also focus. It's not just for Mukul, okay? By the way, that reminds me, Jeet is not there in class, right? So yeah, write down the full meaning of acknowledge, everyone. The meaning of acknowledge is, let me know that you have received and understood this message. And understood this message. So this is the meaning of acknowledge. It is one of the most important phrases. What was one important rule we had discussed yesterday? Acknowledge within 5 seconds. Reply or acknowledge within 5 seconds to any call asked to you. What is the rule as per the manual of radio telephony? The rule is to acknowledge within 10 seconds. But what is the rule that we are following at ICATS? For practice, 5 seconds. So this is acknowledge. So Victor Tango, Mike Romeo Tango, Mumbai Control, acknowledge my last transmission. My last transmission was confirm if you're understanding what I'm doing in the class. Simple.
Mumbai ground, acknowledge what you last said. Victor Tango, Mike Romeo Tango.
Okay, good effort. But Mukul, I am Mumbai Control, not ground. Focus. Students, these are beginners' mistake that you all will end up doing here and there. I'm going to keep correcting. Okay? It's Mumbai Control. Focus who's talking to you. That is one thing that you have to ultimately focus. From now on, I'm expecting nobody is going to give me a wrong call sign. These little things you have to learn to focus in the initial few sessions. If you are successful, then you will easily clear a RT. Trust me on that. But if you miss out on it, it'll be very difficult for you. And when we get into a shorter session, one-on-one and all, if I realize you have not attended lectures properly, and if you have big loopholes, then it will be very difficult for you to go ahead in a short period of time. You know, these things happen mostly with good and intelligent students. They think they know a lot and they don't focus much because they think they know how to do it, but they think they feel the need of training, so they take training, but they think they know the better way to do it, and they don't discuss with me. They attend the lecture as per their focus levels. That is only half. I'm talking about good students. When I say good students, these are good students who are dedicated, determined, hardworking, mature, and very good with respect to what they are doing. But this can happen with them. This generally happens with them. They think that if they learn a little, they think that they will learn everything by default because their minds are like that. They are self-study students, self-made students, I would say. But RT is not like that. In RT, you have to build logic and it will take a long time, not just 2 or 3 sessions to build that logic. And only recorded lectures are not going to help you always. So these live lectures are very important for you all, even if you have studied one whole batch of lectures as a recorded lectures. It will be useful to you if in live lectures you can pick up the soft skills or the fundamentals I'm teaching you to the best of your capacity. If you don't do it, and if you think one of your courses over watching offline, still I can try and show you that you will not be ready to give a live call because you'll have a lot of mistakes because you have not practiced it. So learning is different. After learning, you need to practice. And students who have cleared, they know it. Maybe today or maybe later, I'll ask someone who has cleared to speak about their experience about what I'm talking, and they maybe then some of you all will believe. But why to struggle so much to make you believe? I'm an instructor. You have to follow my advice. There's no other way to go about it. Right? So please remember these things and make sure whatever I'm saying, you grasp it 100%. Otherwise, you will see that you have not got the best of the time that you have spent with me. Any questions so far? Any questions, anyone? Anything on your mind that you would want to discuss? I'm tired of
Yes.
speaking non-stop, so please speak. Sardip, go ahead.
Yeah. Just wanted to ask you if disregard and correction is one of the same things.
Negative. Disregard and correction are not one and the same thing.
So could you explain?
Of course.
Correction I've understood, but what is disregard?
There is one more important phrase that you will use whenever you make a call, but you make a major mistake in that call. Let's say the major mistake is like you are at Delhi, you request startup, but you don't call Delhi ground. You by mistake call Delhi tower or maybe Delhi control, but you are supposed to call Delhi ground. So it's a major mistake. So what do? Mumbai correction. Delhi tower, Victor Tango Alpha Lima Kilo, stand 2, request startup. Then you realize, no, I called the wrong ATC. Before the examiner could reply, you should say Mumbai tower, correction. Delhi tower, Victor Tango Alpha Lima Kilo, disregard. We call the same person whom we called incorrectly and we tell them disregard. What is the meaning of disregard? Disregard means ignore my previous or last transmission. Simple. After I've said disregard, that station will not be worried about who called. They'll be like, okay, somebody called me in by mistake. I'll ignore it. And then I'll call the right ATC. Delhi ground, Victor Tango Alpha Lima Kilo, stand 2, security check cleared. I'll give you the structure so and so, request startup. So this is the meaning of disregard. Use disregard when you have made a major blunder in your calls. Use correction when you make fumbling errors or 1 or 2 word pronunciation errors or something. Pronunciation, whatever you call it.
Affirm, sir. Victor Tango Sierra Bravo.
Come on, students, talk to me. I need the class to be interactive. Speak, share your mind. I'm going to give you 5-10 minutes where I'm going to be quiet unless you have a question that I need to answer.
So I have a question. So my question was
Ishan, just a second. As we are having this discussion, focus on what's going on in the conversation, and also I'm just moving the screen up and down for you all to revise. Okay. Make sure you are making these concepts concrete in your mind. Even though they are just 5 or 7 words, I need you to completely immerse yourself in what I'm teaching you. Everyone, please be doing it. Okay. Your videos are off. I have no way of knowing whether you're sleeping, dozing, eating, playing, or just, doing something else. Please focus. Keep acknowledging. Don't make me ask you again and again to acknowledge. Right? Please, Ishan, go ahead.
So my question was, or I came across a question where it said, all of a sudden you are about to start your take clearance for pushback and startup, and all of a sudden your co-pilot connects with the control rather than ground. So in that case, what can be done for a startup, for permission for startup and pushback?
Very good question. Can anyone from the class try and give an answer to this call? I think it's pretty simple and I think it's related to disregard that we are learning. Can anyone try? If you have not heard the question properly, you can use the standard phrase. You can use Ishan's call sign. You can use your call sign. And you can use this call structure and take that call. Anyone can try. New, old, doesn't matter. So if anybody wants Ishan to repeat the question, use this call structure, take the call signs, use the phrase and ask him. He will repeat the question. Then you all can give the answer. Okay. The call structure is very easy. There are 4 W's that we say the call structure is about. It has to be in the structure. What is the structure? W1 should be in the first place. W2 should be in the second place. W3 should be in the third place. And W4 should be in the fourth place. But what are these 4 W's? It's very easy. First W is whom or who are you calling? Please write everything, okay? And study and learn. Whom or who are you calling? And sometimes if you don't understand my handwriting, let me know. I'm just a little lazy when I'm writing. Otherwise, I really have a good handwriting, you know. Whom or who are you calling is W1. It means you should always start with the other person's call sign. What does it mean? It means you should always start with the other person's call sign. Mukul, what does it mean? W1?
The W1 means who are you calling?
What does it mean? Means you should always start with other stations call sign. Mukul, good answer, but this is the exact thing that I wanted. I'm sure you will get there. I need everyone to be in that sync with me. We'll get there. Abhishek, W1, what is it and what does it mean?
Sir, it means we should first start with whom we are talking to, like whom we are calling.
And what does it mean? So Abhishek, what I'm seeking is you giving me the exact answer what's there in the screen or what you have written down. These are those things. So you don't need to change your words to make it sound like you're giving an original answer. In aviation, if something is verbatim, you can give the answer as verbatim, not a problem. So that way I'm asking this question. And if it has to relate with your RT skills, then it would be, sir, in an RT call structure, there are 4 Ws. W1 should always come first. W1 means whom are we calling? W1 is whom are we calling? It means that you should always start with the other station's call sign. This is how I'm expecting y'all to be able to give me answers after learning. Sooner or later, everybody will reach there. But you'll reach there if you focus on what I'm saying individually and collectively. Okay? Abhishek, are you following? Mukul, are you following?
Affirm, sir. Victor Tango Delta Alpha Bravo.
So you might be like, sir, I'm right. I said the same thing. But it's not about that. It's not about who's right and who's wrong. It's about what should you do to ensure you clear a RT in your first attempt. That's it. So it's not about you and me. It's about our goal together. And our goal is to get your RT. My goal is your goal. Your goal is my goal. You know, it's like that. And let me make this straight, you know, when you're learning with me, whatever subject, of course, I'm your instructor, you're my student. But more than that, what I like is if we behave as if we are teammates, you and me individually, and together, our goal is to ensure that you win the match. The match is your exam. So that way you will tell me honestly and openly wherever you need me in your life. So you don't need to be afraid in thinking and sharing your mind. And I can also treat you as an equal and not as a child. So when I treat you as an equal, it really increases your confidence. So I put a lot of psychology into the way I teach that gives me good results. 80% first attempt students. When I was handling less students, I had 100% first attempt results. Now it's reduced to 80, but of course it will happen because it's only 10 to 15% RT success rate, right? But 80% of students clearing in their first attempt, it's a big deal. You can be one of those. All you need to do is just follow my instructions and have ultimate focus in the class. No matter what I say, everything will help you. W2. W2 is who are you? What does it mean? Write everything carefully. I could not have made it much more easier at present. What you see right now is the golden way to learn a call structure. Nowhere else you will find this way of learning or these notes in this way. and this much time in explaining such simple concepts. Make the most of it. Okay, what we are doing, I'll remind you again, we are building the foundation of a big building that we have to build. You cannot rush building foundations. When I was seeing a new metro bridge being built in our area, they made a lot of pillars. Okay, so now we know how a metro station is or a metro network is connected because we have seen it come up from scratch. Because I can see it right now also. So they dig foundations first, right? So they have those big drilling machines. They made so many bridges, then they had to drill out the foundations by digging the concrete again, which was double the time, to rebuild the foundations because they had calculated it wrongly. And I was thinking one day we just saw what they were doing and we were like, how stupid can these guys be? How did they make such an error? But of course, we all know nobody makes an error by conscious effort. They make an error when they lose focus. Now, what happened? Eventually, they had to redig, and again rebuild the foundations. Only once all the foundations were made, which took the maximum number of time. All the pillars, I think there are thousands of pillars, okay? Then those rail tracks and pieces of the rail tracks were lifted and kept, and then joined, and the railway tracks were laid down, and then the electric poles were built up, you know? And then finally, the train was brought out to test. So the same way you're going to be trained, you know, anywhere, wherever you are, even with your flight training, even with your ground training. Who are you? What does it mean? Focus on this, okay? It's very important and very confusing. Means whenever you make a fresh or a first call, whenever you make a fresh or a first call, W1 and W2 have to be in sequence. Always. W2 has to follow W1 so that write it, try to understand it. If you have not understood it, feel free to ask. W2 has to follow W1. Has to follow means should come after W1 so that the person at W1 knows who is calling him or her at the beginning of the call itself. Simple logic. But when you learn, you sometimes don't really understand it. And you have a lot of difficulties. When you understand it clearly and you read the same thing once, twice, thrice, when you make sense of what I'm saying, what I'm writing, making you write, you will understand that, okay, this is why I need to do it. So every time you'll give me a call, you have to be conscious of these things. Tushar, W2, what is it? What does it mean? Tushar, you're on mute. If you're speaking, I'm not sure if you are. Victor Tango Tango Kilo Sierra, Mumbai Control. Victor Tango Alpha Sierra Hotel, Mumbai Control. Students, see, I'm raising the station. You're not replying. 5 seconds. Come on, not right. Students, if you're not focusing, then it's your loss, huh? And I would not like you to go through a loss. Quickly write what is W3. W3 is why are you calling? What does it mean? Means express reason why you are calling. Mainly a request, underline request, mainly a request to be made based upon exam questions. So most of the times when you think about an RT exam, why are you calling is very easy to figure out because it's there in the question. The question could look like this: request startup. That's it. So you have to make a call where you request startup. So that becomes why are you calling. So whom are you calling? You will check in your flight plan. Who are you? You will check in the flight plan. Why are you calling? You will check the question. So it's very easy. All the data is there. You just need to put it in the right place and know what to speak and what not to speak. So you just speak the right things. The call sign, the reason. W1, W2, W3 and end with W4. That's it. You don't need anything else. If you're focused enough, then in this statement itself, you'll understand what RT is all about. Some of you all can pick it up right now. Or maybe some of you all will take a week, maybe a month, or maybe 2. But this is all that the RT call is all about, this structure. And the shortest way to know how to crack the exam is knowing that everything is given to you. Then you'll be like, sir, if everything is given to me, what do I need to study? You need to study the how of it. So how to do the startup request? Is it just request startup or is there anything else attached? Yes, there will be something more attached to it. But at first, just learn to make a basic call. So why are you calling? Most of the times you will pick it up from the question only. Exactly. That is the first way to learn it. Second way would be you add a few more parameters to that situation with respect to what we call as the rules of the air. Rules of the air is a very important regulatory document or a regulatory set of rules that we need to follow because in India and abroad, everywhere else, we only fly as per 2 rules: visual flight rules and instrument flight rules. So what you will really learn in RT is not just to speak and practice the fluency, which is very important, but you'll also learn the rules of the air based how. So ultimately, if you want to master RT, then you need to know the language, the phrases, the soft skills, and then call structure, and then rules of the air. All of a sudden, rules of the air. So all that you're going to learn is somewhere or the other taken from rules of the air only.
Sir, I think third age, where are you now?
Ayush, you can always do it up and down. First, why are you calling should sound more important. Okay, let's stick to that. I'm coming to that point, Ayush. Safa, go ahead. You have something to ask or say?
Yes, sir. I have a small doubt. Like whenever we are starting the call, then we have to follow W1 and W2 sequence. And like after that, when we are doing the readability check, then we end the call like, with our call sign. At that time, we have to end with it. And
Yes,
while
you
doing
are
the
right. You are right. We'll come there. I'm gonna end this call structure there only. Wait for it. I'll be saying the same thing and I'll be explaining the difference also. So hold that thought, okay? Any more questions or doubts? Victor Tango, Tango Kilo Sierra, is your microphone working now? Can you respond?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
I don't understand that language. RT, can you speak in RT?
Yes, sure, sir. Affirm, it's working. How do you read?
Good try. Very good try. But you made a wrong call first. So what should you use if you made a wrong call first?
Correction.
Use disregard.
Correction.
Disregard. Ignore.
Disregard.
And how would you use it? You'll use it with proper call structures. Some students, when I teach them disregard, they simply say disregard. But ideally, you should call the station properly with the call structures and then say disregard. Pick this up, slow and steady, but try to push yourself, everyone. Tushar, attentive, please.
Yes, sir.
I can anytime take anyone's name and see if you're attentive or not, students. Come on. If you think you're smart, then always know that I'll always be smarter than you. Come on. At least with the subject. Not for always. By the time you go to the exam, some students become smarter than me, and I like that. But right now, come on. Be where you are, everyone. Pooja is asking, sir, should I say again? Yes, of course. But you're not here because here the call was gone to someone else and now we are making to someone else. We don't need to say again. But if I'm calling the right person and that person says say again, I cannot hear you properly, like read you 2, read you 3. Then I'll say I say again. So Pooja, I'll use I say again when I'm talking to the same ATC and I'm repeating the same call again. But
Sir,
if
I'm talking
changing
about
the
disregard.
ATCs,
Disregard.
no, same. So see, let's say I want to talk to Victor Tango Foxtrot Alpha Sierra, but I'm calling Victor Tango Papa Kilo Mike. Then why would I say again? I would just say Victor Tango Papa Kilo Mike, Mumbai ground, disregard. You will be like, gone. You don't have to respond to that also. Then I'll go back to Victor Tango Foxtrot Alpha Sierra, Mumbai ground. So I don't have to say again there. Do you understand what I'm talking about? If you call wrong ATC, and if you're saying disregard, and when you're calling the right ATC, you don't have to say I say again. You will say I say again when you're talking to the same ATC, but you have made a wrong call, or maybe the other person could not hear your call. Are you getting it?
Yes. If we made a mistake again and again, then we say correction, I say again.
No. Negative I say again. And when do we say negative I say again? When someone is giving us a wrong read back. Okay. When I say correction, I say again.
In our transmission, just like मतलब मैंने अभी mistake करी है कि double mistake करी है और तो मैंने एक ही बार करी है तो मैं correction बोलूंगी. अब 2 बार बोला है तो correction sorry मैं क्या बोल रही हूँ. 2 बार mistake करी है तो मैं correction I say again ऐसे बोलूंगी, है ना?
बोल सकते हो. Yeah, it won't be wrong. बोल सकते हो. I would like to see that. If it sounds right, then आप बोल सकते हो. So you have to use it correctly, okay? But yeah, बोल सकते हो. Like, let's say that I have to make a call again, like, so अगर आप 2 से 3 mistakes करते हो, तो generally, when you make more than 2 or 3 mistakes, you just do disregard and make the call again. That is also a rule, okay? But yeah, you can use that. No problem, because I know you'll be using it correctly. But remember, generally the phrases used are negative I say again, and say again. Correction I say again is seldom used. But if you feel like being creative and you think it's apt in the call, then you can do it. But generally what follows after correction is the correct version. So if you say I say again, then that's not really the correct version. But if you're saying it for more clarity and emphasis, then it is okay. Because that's the definition of I say again. Everyone write this also down. Yeah, continue. See, I repeat for clarity or emphasis. So it can be used. Yeah, continue.
Same mistake is repeatedly, मतलब मैंने same mistake वापस से करी तो correction I say again ऐसे मैं बोल रही हूँ. मतलब अभी मैंने task 240 बोला, again correction बोला और task 250 बोला, वो भी गलत है. तो correction I say again ऐसे आएगा ना?
नहीं. It could lead to a lot of miscommunication. You could do this. 2 mistakes. If you have done 2 mistakes, then you'll say correction, I say again all, and repeat the whole call again.
Okay.
I would find that more ideal. But if you feel what you're doing is right, then you can go ahead with that also. I'm not saying no, because I'm sure you will make it sound good in your call. But if you're making more than 2-3 mistakes, then don't just keep using correction. Either say disregard and make the whole call again. Or if you're repeating, then say I say again all, and then repeat the whole call again. Then that would be much better.
So like from their call sign, like from W1, or we can just start from W3.
Make the whole call again. You can start with W1 also. You can start with W3 also. If you're using correction, both will be right. If you're using disregard, then of course you have to start with the whole W's, W1, W2, W3, W4.
Okay.
You'll understand it. You'll understand it. You'll get there. Pooja, I want you to go ahead with what you're thinking. No problem. Pooja, do you want to end the statement?
Negative, sir.
Yeah, you can use it at times, but if you're making many mistakes, then I would suggest you make a fresh call again. Remember that, okay? 1 or 2 mistakes are fine. We can use correction. But other than that, we have to try and use disregard and make the whole call again. That would be much better. And you use one more phrase called negative, I say again, but that is when an ATC or someone else is giving you a wrong readback. Like I tell ATC that Mumbai Control, Air India 123, flight level 290. I had to report right in the earlier call. ATC had asked me to leave flight level 150 for 290. 290 means 29,000 feet. 150 means 15,000 feet. Okay. Now 29 and 15 are not supposed to be spoken out loud like this in RT, but I'll teach you how to read numbers and letters. And the easiest things I'll teach you later. So if I'm making this call, Mumbai Control, India 123, flight level 290. Let's say I'm just reporting, I have reached. This is how I report, flight level 290. ATC also has to give me a reply and a read back. It's important both ways. So if ATC gives me a response or a read back saying, India 123, Mumbai Control, flight level 270. It's a wrong read back, right? So as soon as the ATC or the examiner has said it completely, I'll say negative. I say again, flight level 290, Air India 123. What did I do here? Because it's a reply, I'm acknowledging within 5 seconds, and then I'm ending with my call sign, something that we had learned yesterday. How did I acknowledge? I said negative. It means no. Or the other meaning of negative is that is not correct. That is not true. He gave me a wrong call sign, he or she. I said negative. And then I say again. It means I'm repeating myself for clarity and emphasis. It means I'm saying the same thing twice. Flight level 290. And then who gave this call? ATC has to know, right? If the same person is talking to me or not. It's not always that you'll recognize each other through voice. I can recognize you all over a period of time because we repeat. But ATCs and pilots don't really know if they're repeating each other. So it becomes important at the end of the call to end the call with your call sign. It's like signing a document. You fill applications or you fill whatever resumes and this and that. At the end, only people sign. Why? So that they know the right person has written the statement. A call sign is called a call sign because it's actually a signature, your identity, to be used in the calls. While making first calls, W1, W2, that's where it will come. But after a reply is given to you and when you start giving a response, that's when you have to make sure you start the call with a readback, reply, acknowledgement, and then end with the call sign. So we'll get there. First write W4. W4 is very important and very easy. Where are you? Means your position. It could be on ground or in air. Hint of where you are will always be given in the question, or at times it's obvious to guess where we are looking at a particular question. At times, we can use hypothetical positions if not given to us directly. Remember these points. Make sure your notes are clear. As you move ahead, when we start taking lengthy calls, complicated calls, when you start learning about procedures, when you really feel that, yeah, finally now, I'm doing what I have to do in the exam. Many of you all might be waiting for that also. You'll get there, of course. That's when these notes will really help you. If you forget something, it'll make your job easier just going through the quick notes. You'll remember everything. You'll remember all your soft skills. So make sure you're writing it in points and make sure you know all the points. And if you're confused somewhere, tell me. Chaitanya is asking, can we use Roger as a yes in aviation? No, we cannot. Roger has a different meaning, I'll tell you. We have another question. I think we have said this question again, but what is the difference between disregard and correction? I say again. Disregard means ignore my last transmission. Correction, I say again, means an error has been made in this and the correct version is this. So disregard means ignore. Correction means I have made a small error and the correct word is this. So when you use correction, the whole call is not to be ignored. Just one word that you said has to be corrected and the correct version has to be said. It's like this. Look at it, everyone. What correction actually means is this. I want to talk to Mumbai ground, but wrongly I say Mumbai control. So I say Mumbai control, correction, Mumbai ground. This is where correction comes in place. So when we are writing, we always cross out the wrong thing and we continue the right thing. That is what correction means. So when you are making the call, you don't generally do this. You do this like this. You'll say Mumbai ground, or you are saying Mumbai control and you realize you have to talk to Mumbai ground. So if you're saying Mumbai control, correction, Mumbai ground, Air India 123. So this is how I am expecting you to log the call and write the corrections. If you are saying correction, say correction. And what are you correcting? You're correcting the last thing that you said, which was Mumbai control. And what are you correcting to? You're correcting it to Mumbai ground. This is fine. Okay. Another example could be like this. Delhi Tower, Air India 123 on 121 decimal liner. Correction on 121 decimal 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. How do you read? So what is the meaning of correction? I'm just correcting the last word or couple of words I said, and the correct word is this. This is how we use correction. That's it. Correction will only correct the last word you said or the last sentence you said, not more than that. So if you have realized you have called the wrong ATC completely. So if say I realize I make this call and suddenly I realize, oh my God, I had to make this with ground, not tower. Then what do? Quickly, before ATC responds, so before ATC says, quickly you have to remember Delhi Tower. Why Delhi Tower? Because you called Delhi Tower before. Delhi Tower, Air India 123, disregard. What does it mean? It means Delhi Tower, I am Air India 123, please ignore my last transmission. What was my last transmission? That I was trying to do a readability check with you. Ignore it. You don't need to do it with me. This is the meaning. This is where I will use disregard. And then how will I continue this call? I'll call the right ATC and then continue the call. So I'll make sure I do it rightly. Delhi ground, Air India 123 on 121.7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Readability check. How do you read? So what I've done in this example is I've showed you how to use correction and I've showed you how to use disregard and then how to close with the correct call. Considering this call was talking about you are flying from Delhi to, let's say, Lucknow. So these are codes. You learn everything. And let's say the question number 1 was, do a readability check before pre-flight checks. Now this question, if comes in the exam, it is giving me a hint to do a readability check, but when and where before you do pre-flight checks. Now, when you learn pre-flight checks, you will know that a pre-flight check is always done with ground. So you will know whom to call. So you will know you have to call ground. But under the pressure of exams, and because you don't have much experience, you might wrongly call tower. If you do so, I would suggest if you have made the whole call, then you use disregard and not correction. But initially, even while calling the wrong ATC, you were speaking the frequency incorrectly. So you corrected the frequency, made the whole call, and suddenly it struck in your mind that it should not be tower because it should be ground. So you said to tower that, please, tower, I'm the same person who called you. I say that by my call signs and I just say disregard. So tower is like, okay, he'll ignore. He or she will ignore. And then I'll come back and do the right thing. Delhi ground, India 123 on 121.7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Readability check. How do you read? Why did I call ground? Because pre-flight checks would go with ground. If I have to study the call with respect to call structure, do I have W1? Yes, calling Delhi ground. Do I have W2? Yes, Air India 123. Do I have W3? In a way, yes, because I'm talking about the frequency. I don't need to tell about my position in a readability check. But if you want, you can tell your position. W3 is on 121.7, and you could just say where you are parked. You could say stand alpha 1. Now, this is the hypothetical value that will not be given to you in ground calls. Most of your ground calls, your parking bays or your parking gates will not be given to you. You can use any hypothetical gate. So gate numbers could be numbers or alphanumeric codes, or it could be alpha 1 left and alpha 1 right and alpha 1 center also, like this. So for that, you also need to know a little bit of airport layout, And then I do my procedure. Why am I calling W4? Why am I calling is the whole thing. I'm doing the check. That's why I'm calling. So this way, if you understand everything, it becomes very, very, very easy for you to give me clean calls, perfect calls. If you give clean and perfect calls, you'll easily clear your part 1. That's all that there is to it. Is everyone understanding? I know it's also getting into a lengthy class without any breaks, but I have a good news for you all. So don't worry. I'll make up for the in between break time that I'm not giving you all. Don't worry. Let's just stick with me. Push yourself. If someone is collapsing or someone is really not following, someone is hungry, you can let me know in the chat. I'll give you some time. We have another question. Safa is asking us, why do we call the numbers in reverse order 2 while readability check? A very good question. Can someone come up with this answer? I want either Chaitanya or Tushar or Usaid or Suchita or Abhishek or Zanvi or Mukul or Ashwini giving me or trying to give me the answer to this question. Can you tell us why are we repeating the numbers in reverse order also while doing a readability check? Even if you cannot answer, you have to acknowledge in 5 seconds all the stations that I've called. Station calling, please go ahead. Good, you were within 5 seconds.
Mumbai Control, we do the numbers in reverse order as to lay more emphasis, or maybe like be more clear whether like 1 2 3 4 5 we have already said, then 5 4 3 2 1, like just to be more clear on the numbers that you can, these are the numbers, this is the scale, because we have the scale till 5. So you just to point out that 5 4 3 2 1, just tell me what's the scale.
Very good. Very good. Very good. Very nice of you to end with your call sign also. Correct. So Mukul is correct. Anyone else wants to supplement the answer or give another answer, maybe same words or maybe in different words from the call signs that I've taken? Chaitanya is saying no idea, no problem. You'll get the idea, Chaitanya. Mukul gave an answer, it's correct. Anyone else? Said?
So it might be because
yes, go ahead.
yeah, because just to show that we are more accurate.
Of course, makes sense. Can someone tell me the practical application? Think about it. Come on, Ashwini. Come on, think about it.
So, if you repeat the numbers over and over again, it might also cause a confusion. Like maybe there is some issue with the mic or something that.
Of course, similar answer in logical sense. If I'm in aviation, if I am your interviewer, then I'll be checking you in 2 ways. Your original way of answering things and your ability to stick to procedures. So it's a very tricky situation for the student. The student will not really realize when to give answers in my own words and when to give answers as keywords. So my strategy is always try to give answer in your own words using keywords. So that will satisfy both kind of examiners, always. That's why I said be creative, but focus on keywords. Okay, you will see the benefit of all of this in your own performance. All you have to do is just focus in class. The real reason of using this 1 2 3 4 5 5 4 3 2 1 is to verify, is for the other person who is listening to us, for that station, verify the readability, whether it's 5 or 4 or 3 or 2 or 1. How? Like this. Now I'm gonna so Zoom has this function to simulate what we call as PTT. Everyone make a note of this. PTT means push to talk. Okay. Your RT equipment, your hardware, although today we're not going to talk about the hardware, but the hardware is similar to what I'm using right now. But in order for me to transmit In order for me to make my voice heard to the air traffic controllers, I need to do this. There is a switch like a doorbell switch. It is pressed and activated as long as you keep it pressed and you release it and it goes off. Your aircraft radio transmitters are activated pressing this button here. This one. Okay, here, this one. This is similar to what we have on an Airbus. Okay, it's very similar to that. On a Boeing, we have a 2 handlebar control column. On one of the sides, you'll have the PTT. So what I'm doing right now is I am keeping the PTT pressed, which is nothing but a space bar button right now. So you see, in reality, if you have to transmit, you need one of your fingers to be pressing one PTT all the time. Okay? It takes some time to get used to it. Why do we do it? It's an important question that can be asked to you in your part 2 Viva. We do it. Why is the system designed like this? So that by default, only the ATC can transmit on a particular frequency. And any pilot who wants to talk will only talk only when the PTT is pressed. Now, what happens at times, the pilot might not realize due to sweat or grip or maybe some hardware issue that the PTT is completely pressed or not. If my PTT is intermittent, then my readability can be 3, right? Or maybe 2, read you now and then. So what happens is, apart from my English statements like Delhi ground, Air India 123, on 121.7, readability check, how do you read? This is nothing but a statement. Like Mukul was emphasizing on a keyword that it's the scale. That is the keyword, okay? It's a scale to measure your readability. So what happens is, if I say Mumbai ground, Air India 123, stand 4 on 121.6, readability check 3 5 5 4 3 2 1. How do you read? Students, I made the whole call. Were you able to hear the whole scale 1 2 3 4 5 5 4 3 2 1 completely? Yes, no, maybe. Quickly talk to me, everyone.
Negative, Victor.
Negative. Negative, sir. Victor Tango Sierra Bravo.
This is the final proof whether my readability is perfect or not. If this scale is not completely heard, then even though you have heard everything else, but you miss out on this scale, then you know that you could have intermittent disconnection in your transmission. So you will say read you 2, which is read you now and then, and you will say read you 2. You will say Mumbai ground, Air India 123, read you 2, or you could say read you 2, Air India 123. However, you learn to reply. A very good question. I think very few people know this because these things are out of scope generally. But if I get the right question, then I don't mind teaching you all extra in the class. So these little things will really keep you ahead in the queue. This will separate you from all other students. It means your performance would be slightly better than other students. So your chances of clearing become better than other students. Very happy students, very happy to see the way you all are learning in just 2 days. So that's it. Any questions? If not, I have one important thing about the call structure. We'll summarize and I think I'll be setting you all free.
Sir, I have a question and I want to share something, sir. Can I?
Of course.
Sir, is there any specific speed for takeoff for Airbus and Boeing दोनों के लिए?
Of course. So sorry. Of course. That specific speed will only be calculated after your loading is done. So yeah, It all depends upon your weight and balance and your loading. So as per that, your speed will vary.
Sir,
Basically, it's a generic answer to a specific question, Ashwini. There will be a safety bracket, standby. There will be a safety bracket as per the type certificate. Okay. Empty weight, maximum takeoff speed, and all up weight, maximum takeoff speed. So your maximum speeds would be under that bracket only, in between the range, but the exact speed will vary almost every takeoff based upon your loading and your weather. In your weather, what would matter? Generally, your pressure, your humidity. Why pressure and humidity? Because if you have more humidity, you have less air. If you have less air, you need more runway length or you need more speed. It is like that. If you have less humidity, good pressure, then you require shorter length of the runway. So you might require shorter airspeed also. It's like that, smaller airspeed. So that there is a software that will calculate it and give it to you before you fly, or maybe you will know how to determine it in your airline training or your type rating. Of course, airline and type rating, both places you'll be taught that. You might not get ultimate experience in your type rating because of the shorter duration, but you'll get a lot of time to practice the same when you join an airline. Yeah. So Ashwini, continue. Otherwise, one more person was talking. Please continue.
Yes, sir. Yes, same question. मेरे दोस्त का सर एग्जाम था 2nd of November एंड सेम क्वेश्चन के लिए WPC ने उससे केवल एक से सिंगल क्वेश्चन पूछा स्पेसिफिक स्पीड एयरबस टेक ऑफ स्पीड. So he said, sir, it depends on lots of factor like loading, weight, type of aircraft, and etc. And he said, no, give me one in 3 digits, like 123 knots or 150 knots. So he said, I don't know. Then he said, you are failed. You don't know anything.
Sorry, a friend had to go through that experience. So you can say, if someone asks this question to you, you could say, sir, I think anywhere between 150 to 170 knots. Simple. उससे ज़्यादा नहीं होता take off speed कोई भी plane का. More than this, there is never a takeoff speed for any plane. Takeoff speeds are slow speeds. Cruising speeds are high speeds. So any heavy aircraft like Airbus and Boeing will give you the best profit with respect to the fuel at a speed that is not its best speed, but that speed is best with respect to what is called as SFC, specific fuel consumption. Okay. So this SFC for heavy aircrafts, HA, basically, for example, Boeing 737 or Airbus 321, the best cruising speed is approximately 450 knots. And in my experience, the takeoff speeds would be, I think, but it won't hurt for you to look up and get the actual bracket of takeoff speeds used by Airbus and Boeing. Simple. Tushar is also saying, sir, 170, 180 hi hota hai. So you can use this, you can just use this bracket, and this looks too slow. So you can just say, this is too slow, of course, but yeah, it would be about 170 knots, give and take 20 knots here and there. Simple. So if a similar situation happens with you all, like one question is asked to you where you think you should give a good answer, and you'll say, sir, it depends on all factors, but the examiner tells you to give one answer, and the examiner is trying to push you down the way they did with your friend, if that's the real and the complete story. I don't believe every student's story, to be honest, because they will never say everything. Some of them might, but other people are smart enough to not show their weaknesses and mistakes to others, so that everyone will continue looking after them or looking up to them. अबे ये सब आप लोग को अभी नहीं समझेगा. This, or you'll not understand all this now. Maybe you do, but I don't believe that's the whole story. But if that is the story, so I'll choose to believe and not to believe, then how do you handle that? You say, sir, if you need a word, if you need one number, then in my experience and opinion, whatever I've seen or heard or said, you give that value. Now I think I would say 170 knots, so you give that value. If they say you have failed, you don't know anything, sir, I'm sorry I made you feel like that, but please ask me anything else and I'm sure I'll give you an answer. If they say, no, no, get out, we don't want you, then say, sir, I'm sorry, but ask me 3 more questions. If I don't give you 2 answers correctly, then I'll go. Fight for yourself without raising your voice. Don't let them treat you like this. You're paying them the money so that they can conduct a good examination for you. If they are doing this, stand up for yourself, but smile, be diplomatic, and try. Don't fight. Don't make enemies. Many students are treated badly in the exam, okay? And I know that it happens. One of my very good students, he got so depressed because he could not clear. And the reason he could not clear was his examiner was sleeping in part 1. Can you believe that? When I got to know, I told him, why didn't you tell someone, complain, ask for another session, ask for another instructor? He said, nobody was listening to me. They simply took my paper and I saw on my paper he had not written any calls because he had slept. And he just cancelled it and put 0. So I'm like, how did you take the call? He said, sir, I made one call. I didn't get any response. I waited. I got no response. I thought I'm making the wrong call. I got no response. Afterwards, I was afraid. I looked back and I realized the examiner was sleeping. I woke the examiner. The examiner woke up and simply said, go to next question. And then when I made the next question, answer, the same thing happened again. And this was a very young student, 18-year-old student. He got so depressed. He said, sir, I don't want to give RT again. I don't want to be in aviation again, And he was an engineering student. I was very upset, but many things happen, Every session here and there, we hear such stories. So what I suggest, if that happens with you, fight for yourself in a good way. Try to debate a little in a healthy way. See if it works for you. If it doesn't work for you, if they're still being abusive and insulting and this and that, though they don't give you the chance, if they don't ask questions, then say, I'm very sorry, sir. I'll prepare well and I'll come back again. Thank you so much. And I'll see you all again. I'm very happy to be here and I'll see you soon, sir. And next time I'll impress you all and end that on that note and go out. Remember these things, okay? Reminds me of all the bad stuff that is happening in Indian aviation, such things. But it's okay. I ensure I talk about things here and there in between lecture to make you ready for such things also. So whether you ask or not, you'll be prepared. Even Foxtrot Alpha Sierra is saying that even in her examination hall, the same thing happens. One of the examiners was just sleeping, but not her, someone else's. It happens. Okay. And Mukul is saying, sir, performance and weather too, of course, performance. The technical term to calculate your speeds and everything is performance. It is a part of navigation. So if you want to figure this out, then you look into the documents correctly with respect to the keywords, Airbus, performance, takeoff speeds, like this. These keywords, and if you really want to do good search online, Airbus plus A320, A321 plus performance plus average takeoff speeds. And then you will get a few articles. Don't just quickly jump on Wikipedia or something. Look for articles related to Skybrary, okay? They are very thorough with their material online for our civil aviation. First, look for this, get an idea. If you don't get it, then go through other links. But always look at the source of your research. And even if you're going through Wikipedia, then Wikipedia will have citations. Click on the citations to see what's the actual source. Click on the source link, which is there at the end of the article. You will be sent to the actual aviation article. Whether it's true or not, you'll figure out then. And don't only believe that. So what I'm suggesting is, please, for some answers that you hear from your friends here and there where you don't know what the real answer is, and if you're not even satisfied with my answer, then please do a good online search and share what you have come up with almost on the same day. Okay? Mutually discuss with me. If you come across something where the speeds are more than 170, then tell me, sir, I see that sometimes they take off at 220 also. Then I'll say, okay, and I'll update the whole class about the same. But for you to convince me that it is the fact, you'll have to share me the references also. I hope you're understanding, students. See, when we are learning, we are very thorough, you know, but we are very casual in learning because we enjoy doing it. So I hope you're understanding what's happening. Huh? So yeah, time to end everything. So if you have any more questions or doubts, any discussions, you can put it in the parking lot. Okay. And Saudip is saying, sir, I'm not always I'll use your call signs, what you comment on the chat box, but when I sense that there's something nice, then I'll use the call signs, right? So Saudip is saying, I think an average answer could have satisfied the examiner's ego. And in one way, if you think about it, probably the examiner was just upset because of someone's attitude and the other student faced the brunt of it. So the answer that the other student gave could have been too smart for the examiner, or maybe the examiner was just upset for some or the other reason. We will never know. But we do know that they are just human. And we know how a man or a woman could be at their worst when they're angry. When they're hungry, it could not be anything but just that he's sleep deprived and hungry. He doesn't even care anything about anyone. He just wants to go end everyone, fail everyone so that he can eat or maybe take a nap. Maybe his wife is troubling him, her husband is troubling him. We don't know. But not everyone is as serious as you and me to do the right thing in our weakest moments. So that can happen. If that happens, be gentle. Tell them, sir, ask me 3 more questions. If I'm wrong in even one, then I'll go and I'll come back better prepared. This should be your attitude in aviation. Okay. Anyway, one more thing. Last thing Mukul has shared, I'll discuss, and then we are done. Nobody's going to say anything. I'm going to wrap up the call structure thing, and we're going to end the session. I'm not giving you a break, but I'll end the session quicker. Okay. Someone in readability check today mentioned Mumbai CTR and mentioned on stand 2. Is that possible? Calling CTR and be on ground? First thing, CTR is not control. Fix this error, Mukul. ACC is control. Okay. Although I'll be teaching you all the ATCs, but because Mukul has made an error, Mukul correct it. What is CTR, Mukul? Control area or control zone?
Sir, it's control zone.
Yes. So CTR is a short form for control zone. Write it, everyone. It will be useful. What is control zone? You'll learn when we do chart reading. ACC is control, and the full form for ACC is area control center. And the call sign would be control. Mumbai control, Delhi control, Kolkata control. Not many controls. There are only few controls, like odd 16 to 20 controls in the country. Second thing, he's asking, sir, if I'm talking to control, then probably I'm flying high. Can I say that I'm on stand 2? Because someone in the readability check might have done that. Yes, it is possible to talk to control also when you're on ground. It is possible. Because control, ground, approach, these people use very high frequencies, VHF. And VHF frequencies travel line of sight. It means station to station directly. So if you're at a parking bay, your transmitter antennas for control, for your ground, for your tower, they all are co-located, and it is possible for you to have a line of sight connection with everyone on VHF, as long as you're within the range of 0 to about 200 nautical miles on an average. But as per the rules of the air, you are not required to call control where you are on ground. You are required to call ground only when you are on ground. So as per the rule of the air, as per the rules of the air, we could do a readability check with control also while on ground, just for the sake of it. No problem. But if you have to do a standard check like a pre-flight check or a startup, then you don't need to call control. You can call ground only. So in this case, Mukul, if it's just a readability check, then the call seems fine, no problem. But if it had to be a pre-flight check or a startup or anything that is a mandatory check, then the call should have only gone to ground and nobody else. Is that sorting out your confusion?
Affirm, sir. I understood this.
Are you sure?
Yes, sir. My question was that while calling the control, it's not like would it be possible that a person would still be on ground? It's not about that connection would be made or not, but it's just that while calling the control, person is on ground, right? So is that a right thing?
If you're doing a readability check out of your own desire, it is right. Only a readability check. Other than that, on ground, you're not really required to talk to control unless otherwise instructed by your ATC to do so. Are you understanding my answer?
Right, sir. If in exam the question arises that do readability check with control and there's nothing mentioned that as to where are you at the present moment, so we would be saying like somewhere like 15 nautical DME inbound something, or like a bit, or on
that question will have some or the other hint as to where you are. If not, then the earlier question or the next question will give you an hint as to where you are. Once we determine where you are, then only you will take the call. Then you might not be on ground, you might be on ground. But if the question specifically says that do a readability check with control, then you do it with control. How to determine your position? If you don't know your position, and if all the first, second questions are not helping you, then what you can simply do is look on the chart. On the chart, there will be frequency given for control, and you can just make a call. Mumbai Control, Air India 123 on 124.6, readability check 12345 54321. How do you read? So where you are will become the frequency over there. You don't really need to tell your position when you're doing a readability check. So this is how you'll ultimately answer to that question. Did you get it?
Right, I got it now. Thanks.
Good question. So Mukul, one thing I observed again, and students don't feel today is all about Mukul, okay? The more you speak, the more attention you will get, no matter who it is. So please speak as much as you all can, so that I figure out your errors and I can correct them personally, individually in class. Because your questions will only sort your problem. No, they will help everyone learn. Gulshan, non-stop 2 hours, is it getting difficult? Gulshan is like, sir, yaar, ek to camera on karo, upar se aap mere ko aise bol rahe ho. No, but stay with me couple of more minutes, Gulshan. Yeah. So Mukul sorted? Yeah, so Mukul, the error, it's not an error, but I'm just concerned. So students, let's say Mukul asked me a question. I gave an answer. Mukul said, yeah, I understood. I'm like, great. But because I know that Mukul needs some more time to get used to it, I will cross-check with Mukul. And then Mukul will be like, actually, sir, I've not really understood it. But how do I insult you in front of everyone? But yeah, I've really not understood it. So Pooja did it. Pooja asked it again and again and again and again. But for Pooja to ask it, only I and Pooja know how long it has taken us to do so. But finally, we are there. So what I'm trying to say is, if I give an answer, if you have not understood it, hak se, when I say hak se, it's your right to say, no, sir, I didn't understand it. Can you explain it in a different way? If I say it in a different way, if you still don't understand, problem could be I am saturated. Problem could be you are saturated. It's been 2 hours, 2.5 hours. So I'll say, okay, park it. We'll solve it later. Simple. But if you compromise, yeah, sir, I've got it. When you have not got it, then it's your loss and then it's my loss. And will a wise man or a wise woman or a wise girl or a wise boy want to take losses? I don't think so. Who likes losses? Nobody likes losses. The only loss we like is weight loss, right? Only when we are overweight, that too. Okay, good. Is there a specific ATC unit to issue, deliver IFR, VFR clearance apart from the other 4? Yeah, of course. If there is, then you'll be notified. Of course. Generally, tower has to give you the clearances. But if not, then there'll be a couple of more ATCs that are not used in your RT examination, so we don't discuss about them. But these days, the examiners are running short of good questions, so they come up with new questions. So it doesn't hurt to read them. So Abhishek, put it in the parking lot to give you extra ATCs other than the 4 or 5. I'll make sure it's there in the notes for you all to read and understand. Okay, so final thing about call structure. Once you have established CTC, that is contact, once you have established contact with a station, your focus should be on giving a timely response. When I say timely response, here we are following the 5-second rule. Okay. This response shall include the following sequence. What is the sequence? The number 1 thing would be read back. Number 2 thing would be acknowledge. Number 3 would be reply. And number 4 would be and with your call sign. In number 3, when I say, where I've written reply, there you write including your intentions. So if you have any intentions, if you're planning to do something, even that you will say, and then you'll end with your call sign. Students, this could be tricky. Let me know if it's tricky for you. Take your sweet time to learn it initially, but eventually you have to get there as soon as you can. The meaning of this is you don't have to use first 2 W's in your replies. But ending with call sign is a must in such cases. Has everyone understood this? Yes, no, maybe. Think about it, quickly revise it, revise everything that we have done in the notes, all the phrases, all the thumb rules, whatever little calls we have practiced, the call structure, the definition, the meaning, how to use correction, how to use disregard. These things that we have seen today are really going to give you a very good score. What will happen if you are not prepared correctly, if you're not focused in classes, you'll be able to appear for the exams, but you will not get a good score. You will get a score of 30 or a 40, not more than that. You can try. Anyone who's finished any one batch offline, you can try. How to make sure you reach from 40 to 80, it's all about these soft skills, nothing else. It's not even about rules of the air. It's not even about what to do in the toughest of situations. It's about these little things, a clarity in your language, using correction, disregard, not having dead air. How do we prevent dead air? By following the 5-second rule. If you can reply within 5 seconds, you're avoiding dead air. And then the final thing is call structure. And when you're replying, you're ending with your call sign. So I think I'm going to take extra 5 minutes. You'll be like, sir, Jani le lo ab to. In English, you'll be like, sir, why don't you just take our life? I'm like, is it? Who's looking more dead, you or me? Then that debate will never end, you know. So example, let me give you a question. Let's say we are flying from Jaipur to Mumbai. Okay, VIJP is Jaipur to Mumbai. Okay, let's say we are going to fly at a flight level of 350. 350 means 35,000 feet. You learn all this, okay? And let's say my call sign is lucky number, SpiceJet 786. Okay, SG is the code for SpiceJet that you will be using in your RT calls. There'll be a lot of more information in your flight plan, but so much is enough for our practice. I'm just going to show you the call structure. I'm going to show you the response. And I'm going to show you how to reply once the communication is established, where to use the call sign at the end by not using the first two W's. And that's where we are going to end the session. Please keep summarizing at the same time. Okay, it's very important that you summarize. If I make you summarize, then you'll have to sit with me for the whole day. So don't, you just summarize quickly in your own way, okay? So my question is, let's say this is the question number 1. And my question is, now this is a question that says, after takeoff, reaching flight level 70, you are informed flight level 370 is better. Take action. It might be complicated for a few of y'all. Just go with the flow. See how I'm solving it. What you need to do right now is just look at the first call structure, the response, and how I'm replying and ending with my call sign. Okay. So my solution, I'm going to start by logging, drawing the lines, basically making a log sheet. In your exams, your answer sheets are your log sheets for your part 1. Okay. If you're using a notebook, you can just fold the page and use the fold line as a separation. Make sure you're not overcrossing your calls here and there. This is a borderline, need not be crossed. So I'm at Jaipur, and I know with experience chart reading, the Jaipur only has tower, I guess, not ground. If I'm not sure, then I can always check charts. Let's say I've checked charts and I only have tower. And of course, after takeoff, anything to do with runway, takeoff leg, you will be connected to tower. So that's why I'm determining tower. You will be taught. And then I'll check my call sign again, SpiceJet 786. So yesterday, if you remember, initially, I will write my call sign here so that I don't forget it. It will happen with everyone. Here also, I can write whom am I calling right now. I'll write I'm calling Jaipur Tower right now, just as a memory for me. Okay. If Jaipur Tower is unavailable, someone else talks to you, you will change this. Okay. But this is not mandatory. This is for your sake. Now I'm ready to make the call. I'll use the 4 structures, W1, W2, W3, W4. Where is W3? Where am I? I'm at flight level 70. Where exactly after takeoff? So generally I'll be at the takeoff leg for a particular runway from where I took off. What is takeoff leg? It is nothing but an extended center line of your runway towards the departure end. You will learn about all the legs and everything when I teach you air traffic circuit. So everything is coming to me, all that I have learned, and that's when I make the call. When I'm ready to make the call, I remember the structure. That is very important, and I'll follow the structure. For you, initially, you have to take the conscious effort, but if you focus well in class and practice a few calls, it will stick with you as if you're breathing. It will become natural. So my way of teaching is to make these things naturally in your head. So let's see who picks it up when. It depends, varies from students to students. Jaipur Tower, SpiceJet 786, flight level 70, takeoff leg, runway 27, 05 DME outbound, Jaipur, radial 180, IFR Jaipur to Mumbai, flight level 350, request flight level 370, top of climb 1400, time now 1340. This is my way of taking this call at this moment. We can have multiple ways to take this call. Okay, but this is the call. What have I done in this call? I have used W1, W2. Where am I? The only hint given to me was after takeoff, flight level 70. That's it. So with that hint, I realized I'm on the takeoff leg. Runway 27, hypothetical. Like I said earlier, your position could be hypothetical if not given correctly. 05 DME means I am 05 nautical miles outbound Jaipur, VOR. So we use VOR for directional and distance measurements. Almost all airports in the country. Okay. And along with the VOR, you will not only get a DME, VOR are co-located. So if you're tuning to VOR, you get a direction. The direction is radial. This is a magnetic direction. Okay. And along with the direction, automatically you'll also be given DME, that is nautical mile distance. You will be reading it on your instruments. Here you can assume it to be hypothetical. Okay. You will learn about it every day. Don't worry. Then I'm just specifying what my purpose of flight was. I'm doing IFR. IFR is the code. Here I could have mentioned IFR here to make more sense. And Jaipur to Mumbai. Why flight level 350? Because that was my assigned flight level as per the flight plan. So I mentioned it. IFR Mumbai to Jaipur, flight level 350. What is the question asking me to do? You are informed flight level 370 is better. Better for your SFC, specific fuel consumption. Okay. So what do you say? You don't need to tell them the whole history that dispatch informed me, I have been informed, somebody informed me. No. Just say request flight level 370. That's it. What is this TOC? TOC is a full form for top of climb. It is a time estimate where you think you will reach the highest level. And now you think instead of 350, your highest level is 370. And you think you will be reaching the highest level by 1400. And I'm just specifying that present time that I'm making the call is 1340. This time will also be mentioned in your flight plan. In your flight plan, your departure time could have been 1330. Time of departure. So if this is the time of departure, then I'm assuming that I got to take off by 11, by 1335 or 1337, or maybe by 1340. So time of departure is when you push back or when you start up. It's not the takeoff time. Remember that. And as per this time of departure, I assumed my present time, this, by the time I have just taken off, it won't take long for me to reach flight level 70. It happens very quickly. And I'm just saying that I will reach 370 at this time. If you understand, great. If not, you'll be learning this again and again. The whole purpose is to study the call structure. Let's look at the reply. SpiceJet 786, Jaipur Tower, flight level 370, unavailable due reciprocal traffic. Standby for confirmation. Initially, when the other person is replying, to make sure we all are talking to the same person, they will also use W1 and W2. If someone is calling you, you can also use W1 and W2. That's it. Okay. But now, what is your job? What is your job? Your job is to give the final reply. What would your reply have? Your reply will have readback, acknowledgement, any reply with your intentions, and then end with your call sign. So that's what you have to focus here. You will say flight level 370 unavailable due reciprocal traffic. Standing by SpiceJet 786. If they ask me to stand by for something, I can simply say standing by. That becomes a reply or an acknowledgement and intent altogether one. Standby is a very easy thing to reply. First, I gave my readback and information or instruction given as said, flight level unavailable due reciprocal traffic. And all I have to do right now is just end with my call sign. And you'll be happy to see that examiner will tell you to go to the next question. It is that simple, students. Got it, everyone? Yes, no, maybe. Let's be collective. Everybody go on unmute. Collectively say yes, no, maybe, and let's wrap up the session.
Affirm, sir.
Affirm,
Victor Tango,
Affirm,
Tango,
sir.
Kilo Sierra.
Affirm, sir.
Sierra, Foxtrot Alpha.
Affirm Victor Tango, inform Sierra Delta.
Affirm Victor Tango Yankee Yankee Zulu.
Affirm Victor Tango Delta Alpha Bravo.
Say it in
Affirm
one
Victor
go,
Tango
yeah. Say
Sierra
it together, everyone. Say it together. You don't need to wait. You're not doing a readability check. You all can be on unmute. The final 5 seconds, everybody can be on unmute. So we feel that we are collective in class, you know. And Pooja, do you have something to ask? Pooja, are you asking something?
Sir, can we say passing flight level 70 for flight level 350, then request further climb to flight level 370?
You can say that. Of course, it's your creativity. But if I have to read the question carefully, then my question is just saying I'm at 70. So probably I'm doing an ATC clearance compliance and I'm on 70. So I stuck with 70. But if you are interpreting that you're passing this for that, they use that. Don't worry. But always look at the second question also, just to make sure if it's going to be corrected or not. Okay.
Okay.
You can use that. I don't mind. You can be creative, Pooja. Don't worry. You have the freedom to be creative that way because your calls have become very good. All right. So students, that's it. One thing I want to share that if you're feeling it's too lengthy, it's too tedious, I'm not getting breaks, don't feel like that. What's in a break, you know? We're just getting used to these live sessions, right? So just push yourself here and there. Even I'm getting used to you all, you know, how you are all as a collective entity. So it takes time to figure out a proper schedule and proper ways to learn. So initial few days, it's always trial and error here and there, but it's always effective. So I think I'm going to announce the next week's schedule completely for the whole week over the weekend. So whether you like it or not, but you all have an off tomorrow and day after. I was thinking to do a Saturday because I began the sessions a little late because I became ill. But I'm thinking that because we are starting, it would be better you take this weekend off. For those students who are on a special vacation for studies, you all can connect with me and I can give you some extra reading material to keep yourself busy. Or maybe I can give you some other instructions to keep yourself occupied if you are willing to study and spend the weekend. Let me know in person or WhatsApp after the session, or maybe sometime during the day or evening how you feel. I'll be sharing the schedule over email. So everyone, please confirm your emails once again after the session over WhatsApp, because I'm not sure if your contacts have been updated, especially the new ones who have never ever got even one weekly lecture schedule. Others who have got it, just still verify if you have not used to it, so that you know you are not lost when I'm communicating to you over email. Furthermore, all your schedules generally will be given to you via emails properly. In case something is abrupt, then over WhatsApp, the way it happened, personalized messages. So be on the lookout for the email, you'll get it, and I'll send it twice, once at the same time and as a reminder in the next 12 hours also, as an email. So keep your push notifications on for your email at least. And the second thing would be that I'll be giving you all notes, everything, but not right now. You don't need to buy anything for RT. All that you need is going to be given to you. Soft copies, of course, not hard copies. You can get them printed if you want. But I'll give it to you in some time. And some students are still waiting for some notes from previous batches. Just let me know so that I can give it to you on priority. Others, I'll give it to you when the right time comes, but it will be sooner. Sometime in the next week only, I'm hoping I'll give you some more reading material. So what will you do until then? Just revise what you have done till date in your live lectures first, that is yesterday and today. And then you can revise everything that you have learned before also, up to you. Once you're done with the revision, you can enjoy the weekend and come fresh on Monday as per the schedule. Got it, everyone? So I'll see you all when I see you all. Thank you very much. Sorry not having breaks, but it's not going to be always like this. I think from next week onwards, I'll also give you the break time in the schedule. So we'll stick to that time. It will be like a school bell ringing for the break. No matter what I'm saying, if the clock hits that time, we all will go for a break. We'll come and resume from where I've left. Any more requests that I've asked you to make, send me a WhatsApp message after the session. And everyone, please confirm your emails also. And students who have applied for Kolkata, if you have not informed me, please inform me you applied for Kolkata. Okay? That's it from me. Thank you, everyone. And wish for my speedy recovery. I'm hoping this weekend makes me completely healthy so that, you know, we can study with full force. Not just RT, but other subjects also. So I really need that from my students, because your wishes really work for me, as my wishes work for you. Hats off to you all with the way you have performed today. I'm just hoping to see such everyday improvement. And anything else you need, just let me know. I'll give it to you. It might take a delay of a day or two. Let me know if you need priority by using the words pan in WhatsApp chat. Okay. See you everyone Monday as per the scheduled timings. Stand by for the
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Get well soon.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir. Get well soon, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Get well soon.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Get well soon.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.